Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, is a man who joins us every single week and certainly makes us better, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
When you talk about family in the NFL, this guy still has family in the NFL, being absolutely dominant. And when we see this guy back in the NFL, future first ballot Hall of Famer, Houston Texans Ring of Honor member, ladies and gentlemen, J.J. Watt.
Hey guys, quick question. I heard a hard F-bomb. Are those allowed again? Are we just allowed to?
So we got a little looser than we thought we were going to be, but we still try to stay away as often as we used to be.
I'm just checking the rules. I need to know, what rules we're playing by, because then I'm in. I'm in. I just want to know.
J.J. Watt.
Is there a green light, or what is it? Is it a yellow light? What do we got?
For J.J. Watt, the dude, I abide to the fact that you could probably say, whatever you want.
Well, last year I was catching heat. I was catching a lot.
Oh, yeah. You had like 4 straight weeks. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
We have gone a little lazy on it. Let's lock it back in.
Might have to lock it back in.
You actually you made us better here, JJ. Let's tighten it back up. Let's tighten it back up. Okay, you're right, JJ. Thank you. Hey, JJ.
Thank you, JJ.
Thank you, JJ. That's why I got this thing here. That's why I got this thing looking over my shoulder, judging me every day.
Yeah.
Every day.
There you go. Lost his base.
Wow.
Yeah, that thing never made it here.
Yeah, none of them.
Never made it here, and I think that was potentially a supplier issue.
Mm-hmm.
We had 6 of these things. Not one of them could, the stand made it to the Thunder.
Couldn't handle the power. Just too much power.
Thunder.
Hey,
broke straight off the base.
Speaking of power.
Made in America.
Uh-oh.
All right.
Uh-oh.
I don't think so. Speaking of power, I had Hembo, the incredible stats and analytics guy from ESPN, now working with our program. We appreciate the hell out of Hembo. We had Hembo do some research on your brother, TJ Watt, and I would just like to kind of get your take on him. I should have sent this over to you before the program so you could have had eyes on it, but I think it's kind of self-explanatory. TJ's the only player since sacks became an official stat to win 3 sack titles. 2020, 2021, 2023, 2022, he was injured for a lot of the games, and the way the Steelers played in those games obviously affected it as well. When he plays, they're 71 and 36 and 2. When he doesn't play, they're 1 and 11.
Jesus.
Okay, the points per game, he accounts for a touchdown. That is the inevitable difference when he's on and when he's not on. Does he realize what's all going on? Does he know all this? And
crazy.
Like when he doesn't win Defensive Player of the Year and things like that, that is what he's like searching for those things that continue to motivate him. Like, does he realize all this shit is real? Because I didn't know this until Hembo said it over. I'm like, damn, this dude is dominating. And what is it like the Defensive Player? What motivates this guy? You think?
This graphic right here is why I get so frustrated. And people can say whatever they want or do anything, but this is why I get so frustrated when he doesn't get the recognition that he deserves in that capacity, because I also know extremely well how hard that is to do and how impressive that is, what he's accomplished. So people will be like, oh, yeah, you're biased, it's your brother, all those things. Well, no, just literally look at it. It's unbelievable. It's insane. It's incredible. And like I said, I know how difficult that is to do. So when a guy doesn't get credit for doing something so impressive for so long over such a consistent period of time, it's frustrating. Now for him, what motivates him is just pure football. He just loves football. He loves the game. He loves the work. He loves his teammates. He loves everything about finding a way to be successful on the field, whether it's pass rushing, whether it's dropping back and getting interceptions, TFLs. We literally pass film back and forth every single day and talk about moves and talk about matchups. So it's a blast, man. I love watching him play. I love kind of vicariously living through him. And yeah, I absolutely get frustrated when he doesn't get the recognition he deserves.
He is obviously dominant thus far for the Pittsburgh Steelers. His sack on Bo Nix, they're calling his most vicious.
Yeah, that was
his
disgusting.
most ferocious.
I didn't know. I was watching the game like everybody else. I didn't even see it, but there's like a slow-mo back view that shows him actually slap the ankle. First time I thought it was a ghost sack, just like everybody else did. But then I saw the little ankle slap, and must have just been enough to spook him.
Well, he definitely smacked the calf.
It's a hard smack.
It's a Watt smack.
Yeah, it's not acting like it was some light smack.
It's a TJ swat of the calf. You know what I mean? That's what that was. If he was to rebrand it. You talked about sharing film with him, and we were literally just talking about this situation. That's a benefit. Okay, when your brother played in the NFL and is one of the greatest of all time, being able to share film and knowledge with it, that's a benefit. People were like, we wouldn't be talking about Arch Manning if his last name wasn't Manning. It's like, no shit, it is. That is quite a benefit in the entire brain knowledge of it. You and TJ, we seen you working on golf courses. We see you take your shirts off. You guys sitting in lakes.
Frozen
lakes together. Is he kind of your barometer for how much longer you could still play in the NFL? Because that feels like a tall.
It definitely, yeah. I mean, I definitely look at him move and shake, and I run next to him. And I'm like, all right, how far behind am I here? Like, how in the weight room are my numbers in the same? So, yeah, it's definitely fun to be able to have somebody right next to you to kind of compare yourself to.
Yeah, I don't think that's a fair thing for you because we'd like to see you come back and play. I don't know if you're ever going to be able to catch TJ right now.
All right, calm down.
Yeah,
calm down. All right, somebody in the family
can.
has 20 and a half. Somebody in the family is the only person in history to have 20 sacks twice. The other person doesn't. Somebody in the family has 3 defensive player of the years. The other one doesn't. So let's calm down. Okay, let's reel it back in on
Walter
that.
Payton Man of the Year, nonetheless.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
Actually having a debate before the show.
Yeah, I mean, this is we actually were.
We did.
This was a full convo before the show. Just want to let you know we were debating your family in conversations how they go before the show. I couldn't even imagine you guys.
How'd the debate go?
You had a couple voters. There was a younger generation.
He'll pass me. There's no question. I mean, there's no question. He is currently on a path to pass me.
All right. Well,
no doubt.
Let's talk about some other young bucks that are on a tear. This weekend, a guy had 5 sacks, taken back to 4.5. Their team loses, obviously. We don't know how that has happened. We chatted about that literally on Monday. 4.5 sacks, and then also fake punt completed, and they still lose the game. But this should not be forgotten about. Hutchinson is coming into full form, we're thinking. He's really learning the position, and is this going to be what we see from him all year?
Yeah, guy's a beast. He's a freak. It's awesome to watch. He clearly works on his game. He's got some great techniques, some great tactics. One thing I will say on a couple of these sacks, Baker drops very deep. Obviously, he plays extremely well. He's had a great year so far. They found a way to win this game despite every stat being against them. But it's a defensive lineman's dream, especially an edge rusher, when a quarterback drops back. So at like 7.5 yards, 8 yards, that's a tough spot for us to get to because it's a lot easier for the offensive lineman to set and get in the way. If a quarterback starts dropping back to 9, 10, 11 yards, that's when you're like, oh, this is beautiful because you can just kind of run that hoop and get around the edge. But I know that feeling very well. I'm fortunate to have had it in Detroit one time. I had a sack on the very first play of the game on Thanksgiving in Detroit, and he had 3 sacks in the first quarter. You're sitting on that bench feeling immaculate, just sitting there like, oh, this is great. And then you go out there and you play a little more loose, you play a little more free, and all of a sudden there he ends up with 4.5. I mean, big day for him. Sadly, not a great day for the Lions. Incredible day for the Buccaneers.
Did you see what Aidan Hutchinson does in the offseason? He carries around a gallon of water. Mm-hmm. He golfed a little bit, but it was mostly just working out all day, every day. And the gallon of water. Were you a gallon of water guy?
No, but I drank a gallon of water, but I wasn't. I kind of was grossed out by drinking out of the same gallon all the time. I didn't love it.
How do people do it? Do they strap it to like a belt loop? I don't know how they. Where do they?
Big change, because then it's just easier to lift up.
Because I want to do it, because everybody that does it is in such great shape.
Yeah,
such great shape. It's like, damn, that looks like that's the key. Carrying around.
Is it a new gallon every day, or are you just refilling the same one? And if you're refilling it, are you washing it at all?
How about?
There it is. Come on.
I'm trying. That's on us. We got a little loose.
Brady jug?
The bucket, yeah. Like there's carrying around a bucket of water. What am I doing? Where am I?
No one.
Yeah,
no one's doing it.
Biceps.
Oh, they're doing it.
You're an asshole.
People do. Some of them got like lines on them and
keep going. Keep going. You're crushing it. Keep doing it. Only a couple more sips.
Halfway there.
It's true.
You're an asshole.
Go to Walgreens.
It must be a white defensive end thing because Zach Allen had one. He was a big water
TJ doing
bottle
it?
carrier.
TJ doing it?
Check that 23andMe.
No,
Whoa, easy. Don't bring that up.
Now is not the time.
I heard about that, was.
Every member of the board.
That's crazy.
Why? Why would everybody have to leave?
I don't know.
Allegedly, they were telling people they were Italian and they weren't.
Okay. We don't know. We don't know. Let's move along. We're talking football. It's not. That is a wild game.
It's important.
Let's move along. Hey, everything's going to be all right.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
Maybe.
I'm worried.
It has to. Everything's going to work out. It has to.
They're clones.
What's that?
They're cloning people.
Oh, no, I didn't think of that.
I didn't either. Yeah. We don't need to get into the brainstorming of everything that could happen here. Let's get back to football. Hutchinson and the Lions, that's a shame you guys lost. What a game.
Good game.
Good game.
That was a really good game. There's only going to be one Aidan Hutchinson coming around. Let's remember that. Well, until there isn't. We shall see.
Exactly.
AJ has a question for you. JJ? Jeez,
what'd you think of
every
your,
member of the board.
All of them.
How's that happen?
Get out now.
I don't know that world.
Fill me in.
I've never seen that happen before. Has that ever happened?
You got to do your own research. We're not doing research for people. You do your own research. We're not getting it.
There was a high profile.
Every member of a board of a company that we all know of
Mass exodus.
just left same time. It's like, anyways, let's move along.
Yeah.
They don't have it.
Why would that happen, JJ? You're a business person.
Generally not good.
Let's move along. Let's move along.
What type of reasons would that?
Yeah, what reasons are there why that would happen?
AJ,
speculate for us.
AJ, what's your football question?
The Texans.
We should be doing our own research on all of that. All right, anyways, let's move along.
JJ, what do you think? What do you think about your Houston Texans? The defense obviously heating up. Caleb Williams getting all over them. They look great out there. What do you see when you watch this Texans D? And obviously they're going to make a deep run. It feels like.
You know what I like about them is they have this old school feel to them. They have this old school vibe where you are absolutely going to get smacked in the mouth when you play the Houston Texans. They are going to hit you at every single level. The guys up front are obviously sandwiching the quarterback. Will and Daniil meeting at the quarterback right here. Nothing better than that as defensive lineman. But then second level, guys are hitting. Petrie from the back end coming up and stiffing people. I mean, it's just – every single play, it felt like Caleb Williams was getting absolutely demolished. Now, to his credit, popped up every single time. Didn't seem to complain about it, didn't seem to have any issues. Always popped back up, and I respect the hell out of that. But the thing you know when you step into Houston and you play against that defense is you are going to get smoked, and it's a lot of fun to watch as a guy who thoroughly enjoys the violence of a good defense.
There was a phenomenal answer by D'Amico Ryans actually about that exact point because he hit Caleb on the sideline. There was a shot to Caleb that ended up there. D'Amico, speaking about the entire incident after the game, was awesome.
From my perspective, seeing Azeez, he had a big hit on the quarterback, and everyone goes, everyone gets a little antsy when the quarterback gets hit on the sideline, and but if the quarterback stays in, he's going to get hit. And now I think everybody's a little sensitive when there are big hits in the league. Like, we still play a physical game, and you're going to get hit hard if you're playing against us. That's just how we operate here. And what happened after that, Azeez is, of course, he's surrounded by a lot of their players and also some staff, and they are surrounding him. They got people pushing Azeez and so we have to, as the game, we have to be better, right? From protecting all players involved, especially when something happens on the opposite sideline. Just have to be better. And we know, from Azeez's perspective, we, can't throw punches or anything like that. But just overall, we just have to be able to protect players, and it goes both ways. When you got guys surrounding one of our players and ununiformed staff that's surrounding and in that little mix-up as well, that's a problem, and we have to get it fixed.
If I was Azeez and I heard my coach give that answer, I'd be so thankful.
Hell yeah.
I also like the fact that D'Amico's there's a little bit of a hesitancy for people to be reminded that football is a violent sport, and if you're playing us, you're going to get hit hard. That is how it is going to go. That's how we're teaching. And this was the play, obviously, that he was chatting about, and he is surrounded. And to Aziz's credit, people don't know how you're going to act in the situation when it pops up. He's outnumbered 10, 15x on their sideline, and he's still headbutting people. So I think they learned a lot about Aziz. I think
you couldn't have a better way to just slide in. Yeah, he shouldn't have punched the guy, but everything else around it was exactly what you just like. Yeah, no, he definitely shouldn't have punched the guy, but I'm going to make this sound as great as it can possibly sound for my guy, and he nailed it. Perfect answer.
Hey, so there's people pushing him that aren't players or coaches either. I don't know how they didn't say. I don't know how they get on the sideline, but we need to protect them too in this entire thing because a consultant.
He just came up swinging.
Poor guy
came up swinging.
Running back, nothing to do with nothing, just bop.
And I'm in a fight now. Okay, so and he headbutting on the way out. Yeah. Because that's probably what he was actually saying. But I appreciate the fact that the Houston Texans seemingly have gotten everything right. And the head coaching department is another box that has been checked because D'Amico handles this exactly how every player in the NFL would want their coach to handle it, which is why they'll probably continue to get big-name players. They want to come play with C.J. Stroud. They want to come play for D'Amico Ryans. Houston, very popular city, obviously. Great time, great place. It's like Houston, Texas might be a wagon for a little bit. And we all just need to understand and realize that.
Long bit.
No, it's probably a little bit.
Probably a long bit.
Might be a long bit.
Why wouldn't it be very long? I got C.J. Stroud still for a long time.
And the whole division stinks out a lot.
0-2. Everybody else 0-2.
Tough games.
2-0.
Tough games.
I honestly hate to see DeForest Buckner go down, man. I love DeForest. That really sucked to see him going higher.
That's not good for us. Anytime DeForest Buckner has not played, it has not been good for the Indianapolis Colts. There was one game, I think we were taking on the Titans, and obviously, T's and P's to DeForest Buckner. Love the way he plays football and everything like that. Yeah, we appreciate the hell out of DeForest Buckner. I think we were taking on the Titans, and it was a big game for the AFC South Championship, and I picked the Colts, obviously. And then somebody said, hey, DeForest Buckner is out. And it's like, that's the worst team for DeForest Buckner to be out. That is right up the, for Derrick Henry whenever he was there. And Derrick Henry, I think, ran for like 180 yards in the first half or whatever. Like, that's how big of an impact DeForest Buckner has. But with that being said, Ty has a question about the Indianapolis Colts, who will always be the creme de la creme of the AFC South. Okay.
Yeah.
Records might not say that. Okay. Recent stats might not say that.
Division titles won't say that.
Over the last decade might not say that. Wins, losses against Texans, and everybody might not say that.
Jeez.
You're 0-2.
It's a lot.
A lot of season left.
It's so bad.
A lot of season left.
Yeah.
It's so bad.
It's not so bad. It's only going to get better. Anthony Richardson's still a rookie. You remember C.J. Stroud last year? Rookie.
It's so
You
bad.
got Shane Steichen.
He was a pretty good rookie, possibly the best ever.
Yeah, he was, okay? And Anthony Richardson's going to do the same damn thing. He was on track to do that. First four
Great throw. He had a great throw. Great throw.
He did have a great.
He's got cannon, man.
He
He
ran
can do it.
two guys over, too. Let's never forget. He ran two guys over as well, scored a touchdown, came out, did his whole thing. He's a rookie, though. There's going to be times where, you run into a buzzsaw of a defense.
Yeah. JJ, just curious, how does that happen when everyone in the world knows that a team, hey, they're going to run it 50 times? Like, what was Goof Bradley telling the defense going into the game? Like, I assume, like I said yesterday, was he thinking, hey, everyone knows they're going to run it 50 times, so maybe they try to trick us and they come out here and throw it 50 times with Malik Willis? Like, how exactly does that happen when seemingly everyone in the United States, in the football world, knew
maybe
exactly,
Ireland too. Ireland.
Yeah, Ireland. Really,
Quaid knew.
You can say the whole world knew exactly what the Packers were going to do, and then they just went out and did it. They still did it and didn't have much resistance. How does that happen?
There's twofold. There's two different things that can happen in that scenario. Number one, the team can just literally be better. It's like that old school, hey, we're going to run the ball right there. You can't stop us. But then on the other side, there are teams and coaches and philosophies where they just say, hey, we do what we do. Guys, go out there and stop them. We're not going to change our game plan because of what we think they're going to do. This is who we are. I remember that specifically because some offensive lines believe that. They were like, hey, we're going to block how we block. We're not going to change our scheme or anything. We're just going to try and block him normal. And that generally doesn't work out too well for people. And I'm not 100% sure. I haven't watched it closely enough in this game, but I did see 238 rushing yards at halftime for the Green Bay Packers. So whatever the plan was not working.
Okay, I'd say, yeah, and still in it, though. One Hail Mary away. So everything you're saying about one good throw from week one, everything, we were still in that all the way to the end. And if that ball travels 7
That's a banner. Still in it. That's a banner.
It wasn't that close.
JJ, I am sick of it.
Oh, here it is.
Okay, look at this 7-yard line, 6-yard line.
Wow.
So if that goes 6 yards further, we catch it probably.
I thought he could throw it like 80 yards.
From his knees.
Well, it's that Lambeau grass. The Lambeau grass is so slick he wasn't able to walk in. Remember, we got the coconut husk in Indianapolis.
True.
So whenever he was doing his little fadeaway, him and the coconut husk.
Yeah, but he slipped on that.
Exactly, because the coconut husk was sending so much power through his body. He flipped the wrist.
They cheating?
I forgot about that. I forgot about the coconut husk turf you guys got.
Good turf.
It's good for the environment, JJ.
Thanks,
Yeah,
JJ.
no, it's great. No, it's great.
Did you see what quick?
I didn't say anything.
You did. It wasn't what you said. It's how you said it.
See, this is how I know that they're a little rattled up there in Indy because you're getting offended by things that aren't even offensive.
You're saying things in an offensive manner, and you know it. And I don't like the way you're playing this little game.
Coconut husk.
We're 0-2, Bob.
Coconut husk.
We're 0-2.
Things are bad.
Okay, we're 0-2. We're panicking.
I've always enjoyed playing.
Don't let the Bears win Sunday.
You guys are really nice.
Don't let the Bears
You guys
win
are a super
Sunday.
nice team, though, Pat, and that matters.
We are. Thank you. We are the nicest team, which means the football
We got fireplace season around the corner. We got fireplace season coming up in a couple months.
Couple months. What is this guy's deal? What are you talking about? Remind folks what fireplace season is, because I think it's
the Colts. You think it's what?
No, go ahead. Please go ahead.
I love it. This is truly one of my favorite
Charming.
things. If you play at Indianapolis in, like, what does it start? Maybe late November?
Yep.
Definitely December. During pregame, they have just a Yule log fireplace burning on the big screens during the whole warm-up. It is. Yeah. It's like you're sitting like chestnuts roasting on an open fire while you're warming up to just beat the living hell out of human beings. That's what it looks like.
Yeah.
They did change the warm-up on week one. There's different music.
Is Meek Mill playing in the background?
No, it's just there is a whole new music. We haven't got to the.
No, it was Bad Boys.
It's Bing Crosby.
All right, it was not. I don't think there was any Bad Boys records.
That'd be cool
because they are going somewhere for a long time.
Maybe
sounds
Rikers.
like
For life.
Sounds like it. Hey, that's wild. It's a wild time to be alive.
It
right
is.
now.
Yeah, crazy. Not to mention if you own a walkie-talkie or a beeper.
I mean, it is wild. It is a wild time.
Hopefully they donate all that KY jelly
people
to
still
the
wear
right
beepers.
place, okay?
Pagers
Oh, God, this show's off the rails.
Hey, JJ, this is your fault. We got to tighten up. Remember, we got to tighten up.
Let's talk about fireplaces and courthouse.
That's on you. We talked about making the world better because the coconut husk, right? We talked about romance, with the fireside thing that does run, it can make it do that. And then also we'll just do your own research. There's a whole board that just resigned.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff going on.
What the hell is going on out here?
I think we're 99 days out.
From that. Yeah, it's only going to heat up.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? From our existence.
Yeah.
It's all right. We're lucky to be here. Lucky to be alive.
Hell yeah.
Let's never ever forget that. Speaking of lucky to be alive, D-Butch has a question for you.
Yeah, one of the cool things I know for me, you always part of it going to the league, being a young player, like post-game handshakes. I know when I was a young player, Ed Reed, C. Wood, maybe Ray Lewis, seeing those guys going and shaking their hands after the game was always a cool moment. Caleb Williams, C.J. Stroud had a little moment, little interaction after the game as well. I want to hear your thoughts on that. And then was there any memorable, I guess, post-game handshakes or meetup for you as a young J.J. Watt?
Yeah, so I go both ways on this, and this is a tough one for me because I see both sides of this. I mean, we all saw obviously what CJ said to him, trying to impart some wisdom, pass along some things that he learned in his first year, and Caleb taking it maybe not as intently listening as some people would have loved to see. But I'm on both sides of this. Number one, I love that CJ is trying to pass along some info, trying to help a guy out, trying to lift him up after a tough game. But at the same time, I do understand the other side of this with Caleb. I look at it kind of as that Mamba mentality where, like, we just lost the game. That's kind of where I was at on jersey swaps and things like that. I mean, even when I played against my own brothers, we lost the game, and obviously we want a picture in our uniform, but like I wasn't stoked to take the picture. I wasn't like excited and smiling and super happy to take the photo. I just think that there is something to that old school mentality where it's, hey, we're not friends out here. Like, this isn't the time to be best buddies and to do all that. So I understand and respect that. I also know that we're in a different generation where jersey swaps are normal, where guys are friends with players all over the league, where, you know, they train together in the off seasons and things like that. But I don't hate if a guy after a game is like, nah, I'm not feeling it, man.
So that's happened to you or no?
Somebody's tried to give me advice after a game?
Yeah, somebody.
No, but guys do try to do jersey swaps. I always told guys, like, I'm not swapping jerseys on the field. I'll have the equipment guy send it over in the locker room after, but like, I'm not standing out here taking my shoulder pads off, passing the jersey over and smiling after I just lost the game. That's just not me, personally.
Nobody wanted to really jersey swap with me, obviously. Back in that time, it wasn't. I told Brett Kern, punter for the Titans, I was going to ship him one. Man, I forgot.
Damn.
Come on.
Never too late.
Pass that along.
I think still to this day, it is not. Man.
He love it even more now.
I hope he might be. Brett Kern was a legend. He came over. He's like, I want one of your jerseys. I was like, that was so kind of you. I'm not going to take this one off, but like, I'll certainly send you one. And then what? 10 minutes?
He just didn't.
Just forgot. You ever forget? It happened to me.
You don't forget stuff.
Absolutely.
Happened to me.
Absolutely. I think I've probably done it once or twice.
Yeah, you're a bad guy. Okay, sweet. So and AJ's definitely done it.
Mm-hmm.
AJ's
I
done
have
it.
So many times.
I've forgotten a lot. Yeah.
AJ, were you an on the field jersey swap? It
No.
kind of became a thing in the last like 10 years.
No.
Yeah, luckily when I got to Green Bay too, they even said like, no, we're not doing jersey swaps. The equipment people let us know, and then eventually, like as I got older, people did it. I think the one time I ever did it was with Brian Hartline when I was in the Bengals, and we did it after the game, in the tunnel. We traded.
How cool is that? Taking it off, very easy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it takes me an hour to get my shoulder pads off with like 3 people involved. So yeah, I can't do that.
Yeah, I'm wondering how they do it so efficiently after the game, because that was always difficult for me, and I don't have it glued on like a lot of guys do. So I was even struggling. And then
How did
go ahead. No, go ahead.
How did your guys' teams do it? Every team is different, obviously, with being able to purchase your jerseys. Some teams allow you to purchase as many as you want at a decent price. Other teams say one only. Some charge a crazy amount. How were your guys' teams?
The Colts, I don't remember having the option to just give away jerseys. Now, granted, I'm punter, so let's never forget that. I'm bottom of the totem pole. But I don't think anybody was really doing it on the Colts.
They did it. People were doing it. At one point later on, I know later on in my career, they were like, hey, we're going to start charging. I think it was like a ridiculous amount. To be like $1,200 or something like that for a jersey. But guys still did. Like, I got one of JJ's teammates, Jonathan Joseph, corner. I respect it. And always after the game, it would be a quick conversation. He would always impart some knowledge, so we had to get a J. Joe jersey. Trell, so, certain guys, you're definitely doing it. You just take it. If they take it out of the checker, they do it. All right, whatever, it's worth it.
It does feel like now it happens on a much more regular basis than it used to.
Like every game.
Would be cool to have those in like baseball.
It's hard after a loss. To do that. I feel.
Man.
Plus the visual represent like
It's the visual. It's that for your coach. I'm like, man, my coach is going to come sucker punch me if he sees it.
How about the camera? What about when the camera, like the drone shot, is going over after games and a team just lost by 30, but one of the players is seeing somebody that they haven't seen in like 15 years or whatever, and it's like a big smile as the show's ending and like, good to see you. This conference not about football, it's about something completely else. And the fans are just like, they don't even care.
Happened to Philly.
They don't even care. Yes.
Monday night happened to Philly. I think it was Javon Carter and Jordan Davis. And they were talking to a guy from Georgia who played for the Falcons, and they were all happy. And there were a lot of Philly fans telling them to shut your mouth right now because you just lost the game.
Do we think
that's the interesting part about podcasts today too? Like a lot of these players, active players that have podcasts, like you're doing a podcast on a Monday or Tuesday, the day after a huge loss, man. That is that's tough. That's tough.
Yeah, Aaron has come on a couple times after a loss, and it's like I'm always intrigued to see how he handles it, because to play this long in the NFL and to want to be a professional athlete this long in the NFL, you have to be like incredibly competitive.
Yep.
So when you lose, you hear people, I don't want to say, how would I describe? Non-professional athletes, you play a game. Like, this person hates to lose here at the table. And it's like, all right, yep, everybody hates to lose. Professional athletes, the hate to lose, the drive to win, I don't know how you want to describe it, is very high. And if you're playing 18 years at a high level, it feels like the modern day guys are able to get past this much quicker.
Yeah, and I'm also not a believer in this, like, oh, they have to be locked in watching film 24/7. Like, I hate that people are like, oh, you have to do that all the time. I'm just saying, like, it is tough to go on a show or something and discuss what just happened, especially if you got spanked. Like, if you have a podcast that goes out every single week and your team just got smoked, that is just a tough thing. I'm not saying you shouldn't. I'm just saying that's a tough thing. And I understand also when fans are a little bit like, hey, man, it's not, it's 45 to 10 there. Like, what the hell?
Last year on New Heights, Travis was giving Jason shit about one of the Eagles' losses, and they had to stop the entire show. Like Jason Kelce just took his headset off, got up and walked off, and they had to like re-record it the next day because of it.
How'd you feel about Jason Kelce in Philly for the first home game post-retirement? I thought he really crushed it.
His dancing's unbelievable. I love his dance.
He's legit. Phenomenal.
He feels good. His knees look like they feel really good too.
Yeah, I mean, hips.
Unreal.
This is awesome.
Hips, great.
That's great. I could see why Atlanta fans were like, hey, is this the local Philly broadcast? Heavy Philly presence on that broadcast. But, I mean, love Jason, love his vibe, love his energy, love his attitude. So I didn't hate it because I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. But if I was in Atlanta, I could understand it.
I saw Jimmy Traynor wrote an article, I guess, about Atlanta fans not being happy.
Oh, yeah.
Or Florio might have wrote it. I forget who it was.
Yeah, because he was in there.
I didn't even think about it. Because I'm like, oh, Jason Kelce, this is cool. I'm just like listening to Jason Kelce. I think he's entertaining. I like what he's doing here. They put him on TV, the way they're using him. He's having fun. I like what we're doing here. And then I didn't even think about Falcons fans being like, enough. We are.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, excuse me. Who's going to win this game, first of all? And then also, there's a lot of storylines on our team we could potentially be talking into. Because when you get one of those primetime games, it tells all the stories of your team. That's why, like, being primetime is a big deal. Like, the entire world is getting introduced to it. Arthur Blank's like, did anybody even know the Falcons were playing? Go Birds are insane. Like, it is, I can see how they feel that way.
So he was in the booth, obviously, for that third quarter.
Yeah.
The Eagles gave up a sack on the stunt. And, like, all I wanted to hear in that moment was, all right, Jason, you were there last year. Tell us about it. Like, I wanted them to let him tell us about it. And I didn't get to hear that because that, to me, would have been a really cool moment. They just gave up a sack. He was on this line last year. Talk us through it. That was one thing I was looking for.
This guy, Monday morning quarterback here right now. On Monday, that's what we just heard. Joe and Troy got it.
I'm a fan of the game. I love, like Jason and I had it back and forth last week on Twitter talking about offensive line play and defensive line play. I love hearing his actual thoughts. He's a very, very articulate, smart man, especially at that space.
Speaking of offensive lines, let's go to host of the OG in the Trenches segment, AQ Shipley, who has a question for you.
Yeah, JJ, talk a little bit about the local team, the Arizona Cardinals. I saw your boy, the Barbarian, Dennis Gardeck, had a big game.
Yep.
I thought the offense looked awesome. I thought they looked great. And my question to you is, do you think the defense can keep up with the offense in Arizona, and are they contenders?
I mean, I think you watched that week one game in Buffalo a little bit differently, obviously, after watching game two. I mean, for the Bills, because the Cardinals played them very well. Obviously started out very strong, couldn't hold it off at the end, but they played very well against clearly what looks like one of the better teams in the NFL. And then this week, they just go out there and put on an incredible performance. Kyler, perfect passer rating, running, throwing. Marvin Harrison, week one, everybody's saying he's slow, he can't run routes, he can't do this. Oh, no, because he only had 4 yards. Well, this week shut them all up pretty quickly, so really enjoyed seeing that.
Stop going, it was just first quarter. What happened the rest of the game? You know, you said he had a couple drops. He felt bad about that, but also 140 yards in the first quarter, 2 touchdowns, I guess. Can we get this guy the ball?
Is that okay, or is that's good?
No,
High score, is that good? Did I break it? I
also love the fact that Kyler is so good at football.
Filthy.
We're seeing feels like a brand new. This kind of sounds weird to say because he's been around, obviously, but it feels like a brand new Kyler this year. And I think a lot of it has to do with that head coach empowering him. Do you think so too, JJ? You think like culture over there in Arizona is at a spot where it's like sustained success can happen?
I think he does feel very loose and free right now. I mean, it's cool for me to see him coming out of his shell even more publicly. Like he has this little video shows that he does during the week, and it's fun to watch him, the off-season preparation. This week he put one out on his preparation in the game last week. So it's fun for me to see him come out of that shell and feel completely comfortable showing that side of himself to the world, because I do think there's a lot of people who just assume that they know Kyler and they assume they know what he's like based off of what the media and everybody says. And I like that he's now just saying, no, this is who I am. This is, you guys want to talk about me? Well, I'll just show you. This is who I am. That's cool.
That video game clause was so rude.
Yeah, come on.
What you remember?
Film watching.
Yeah,
killed him.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, that was tough.
That was one of first of its kind. I mean, it was definitely going to be a conversation. Whoever thought it wasn't going to be brought up is certainly something. And, you know, that'll be something I think some people will always think about with Kyler. But it's like you watch him this year and you watch what the type of building they're running over there with Gannon. It's like it might be the time Kyler locks in completely and becomes everything that we thought he could be physically.
Yeah, he'll still be judged off what he does late in the, like all quarterbacks. So what he does late in the season, what he does in the playoffs, because the Cardinals and Kyler in particular have had great starts before they started off, 10-1 or whatever, and then late in the season, once you kind of have a book on him, you start changing some things up. But I like what he's doing. Pretty much his first full year with his what's the new OC, Drew?
Petzing.
Yeah, so him in his offense, a lot more 12, 13 personnel, playing a little bit more from the pocket, moving the pocket. I'm loving what I'm seeing from Kyler and that defense, too. Defense flies around.
Yeah, I enjoy
defense. Everybody said before the year that they weren't, where's their pass rush? They lost the one to injury. People are saying, where's the pass rush? Dennis Gardeck and Zaven Collins off the edge. I believe the Cardinals are number 2 or number 3 in sacks in the league. So.
Is that one of those teams that you would play for? You live there, right?
Yeah.
Backyard.
Lost the guy.
Huh?
You take the bus?
Wow. We turning down for what?
I got to sit in the pool with my son at halftime of the Sunday night game. We were watching the Texans play, popped in the pool at halftime, came back out, watched the second half. I mean, it's pretty nice, man.
It is pretty nice. You know what else would be? Going back to the Cardinals win a Super Bowl.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
All right, we'll continue on ESPN Plus, YouTube, and TikTok Live. J.J. Watt will continue to inform us on all of the good stuff. Do your own research. There's a lot taking place. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice that might change their life. Nailed it. Right on the screws.
Boom.
Right on the screws.
Bang.
Wop.
Love the countdown on the screen. Big help.
It is, right? Shout out to Matt Garrett.
Yep, shout out.
That's Matt Garrett. Thank you, Matt Garrett.
Let's go, Red.
Let's go, Red. Let's go, Red. He said it to me Michigan game day meeting morning. I walked in. He goes, your conversations end. And then I don't know where they are. And I was like, what are you talking about? He goes, your show ends, and I don't know where the fuck the conversation goes. And it's still happening. Can you just tell people where it's going? I'm like, yeah, we certainly can. He goes, countdown right there. Like, got it. Thank you, Red.
Yep.
Thank you, Red.
Best in business.
He says it's not my job to produce your show, but I would like to know where the conversation with J.J. Watt's going so I could maybe continue watching. I'm like, oh, smart. I don't even think about the TV people. And he's like, see? Huh? I'm like, thank you, Red. So
last year, there were times where I literally forgot we were still on the air after we went off ESPN. I just assumed we were just having a conversation.
That's on you.
Yeah, I agree.
That is
definitely on me.
Okay, all right, good.
I agree.
I would have felt terrible there. Could you imagine JJ being like, listen to this bullshit TJ said.
Yeah.
Be a fool. Go out there and do it. Tomlin had another phenomenal quote.
Oh, such a good one.
Just an absolutely phenomenal Tomlin. And like, does he have that stored away, like waiting for that question to come? Or does he think about it while he's giving the first part of his answer? Like, while he's doing the first part, is he trying to think of a phenomenal metaphor that is just going to hit home that nobody has ever squeezed into said conversation or bucket? He's so good. He is so good.
I want to know the exact same thing. I want to know, like, does he just have a Rolodex of them that if the situation pops up, he pulls from? Or does he have it where he's like, all right, I'm going to find a way to get this one in today because it's a good one? It's incredible how many of them he has. And like you said, how many of them are not ones. We all know the ones that have been said 100 times before. I haven't heard this one before.
I've heard the concept. I've heard the concept of
right.
You've heard the concept. But to answer an actual football question for the perfect situation, like this is a perfect situation to utilize this. Just a hilarious quote, and he keeps a straight face through it all. Always just keeps a straight face through absolutely everything. Use a word that you've never heard of before, and then drop it into such a precise way, and he never flubs.
No, never.
He's one of the greatest speakers, I think.
He talks so matter-of-factly, and he always talks the same way literally all the time. Whether you're in a one-on-one personal conversation, whether he's talking to a group, whether he's doing an interview, whether he's speaking to the team, his voice volume and cadence is always the same. I've never seen anything like it.
You never get caught not being you, if you're always you. It feels like Tomlin is certainly that. So are you, JJ. Captain America.
That's right.
Speaking of America, we call it soccer. And how's your soccer team doing? We good?
We're doing great. We had a great win last week against Leeds. Leeds away, as we discussed. Big 1-0 win. So it was huge for us. They were a very good team. Glad to win on the road.
His ass.
1-0.
And I'm headed over this weekend, so I'll be there on Saturday for the match. We got a board meeting Friday, match Saturday against Portsmouth. And then I'll be on CBS in New York on Sunday.
Gotta beat Portsmouth. Gotta beat Portsmouth, brother. They're bottom of the table.
Yeah, don't worry. The board is all intact.
Okay, what if we lose to Portsmouth, though? They're bottom of the table of the second table.
Is Tyler going?
Kids table.
We're intact.
No, there's like six, wasn't Wrexham like 5 deep at one point?
Wrexham and Birmingham just played this last weekend. Ryan Reynolds and Rob's team against Tom's team. Tom won. Birmingham won.
They don't even get
3-1.
I saw you comment on a post about that. Do you guys have like a "We Own Soccer Teams in England" text message group or anything like that?
Yeah, I was actually going to go over there with Rob, but since I'm already going over on Thursday, I wasn't going to pop back and forth. We've been a whole lot on the body, so he was very gracious and offered me a ride over there.
What type of plane? You got to have a big one to get over.
Well, yeah, it was one that's capable. It was a capable one. I'll say that.
Yeah, which there's different levels of capability, though. I think
it's near the top of capability levels for traveling around the globe, I will say.
Oh, terrible on the body, huh? Wow. Yeah, okay. That's a tough one.
From Arizona.
That is a tough one to go ahead and lay down in that bed.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta make sure.
So that Always Sunny money's pretty good, huh?
Yeah, it is still running, isn't it?
Yeah.
That Sunny money's always running pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah, still going strong.
And now Wrexham's good.
Syndicated as well.
Yeah, Wrexham's good. Wrexham's business
when do you know when you get bumped up, though?
The end of the year. Top 3 go.
Like when is that?
Top 2.
When is the end of the year? That's a good
May.
question.
Great question.
May.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's like baseball. I didn't know we were have May.
38 games, brother. 38 games.
46 in the championship.
Top 2 out of how many?
Oh my God, it's
Yeah. So there's 20 teams. You got top 2 automatically go up. 3 through 6 have a playoff to see who the third team to go up is.
That's neat.
3 teams total go up.
That is neat.
I like that.
I like the playoff.
May is
It's
so
electric.
far.
Yeah.
May.
So anything can happen.
Did we follow the entire year last year with Burnley? Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was a rough one. This one's going to be a little more fun.
And then
And then what?
Go up.
And then we win the fucking Champions League next year.
That's right.
Yeah.
Liverpool.
Well, you gotta-
I like
Big
that.
one, right?
I like
Yeah.
that.
that'd be in
That's
2
a
the
years.
big one?
Yeah, you're not
2
impossible
years.
for him to be in the Champions League next year, I don't think.
Yeah.
No, that's
2
physically
years.
impossible.
Yeah.
Win the
Well, whatever. You know what I fucking meant. Next time we're in the Champions League.
Yeah, I love it. I'm with you.
Have they ever been in the Champions League?
No.
No, we've been in the Europa League. We have been in the
What
Europa
is this
which
league?
Second. Yeah, we could do a whole show on.
Europa
we could do a
League's
whole
pretty
show
impressive
on-
to get to be fair.
Yeah,
I know.
certainly.
We finished 7th in the Premier League that year. It was pretty nice.
That's when Dyche was at the wheel.
That's the top.
Who?
Yeah.
Sean Dyche was at the wheel. There's a pub named after him.
Dyche is an
Burnley.
excellent
You got
fucking
him.
gaffer.
What's that,
There's
Derek?
rumors he
Yeah,
might be
AJ
getting
got
the
it.
sack by Everton.
Finally got it figured out.
There's rumors. I mean, I don't know if they're substantiated enough, but Jay-Z is rumored to be interested in his team, Everton.
I don't know.
Wow.
Oh, did I go into that?
Future first ballot Hall of Famer, JJ Watt.
Good God.
What happened with Jay-Z?
Good God.
What's wrong?
I think his music as a whole, everything's
He's good.
Great, yeah. NFL.
Everybody's good.
Man,